Right, so if you were here last time, you saw that we got the body onto the chassis. So this time, or this episode, what we're going to do is we are going to dry fit or test fit the fenders back into place so we can put the hood on and see how the motor sits under the bonnet, and maybe do some other stuff, but let's get going on that. All right, so I've taken a look under here, and you can see the oil line there. Not the the worst thing. I mean, we can move that oil line. Is there, and the cowl is touching, but what it's touching is the substructure, the cross member. There's a heavy duty cross member here that goes all the way across the hood and provides some rigidity. So if I am able to move that, I can leave my brackets there where they are, and I can just tuck that forward, like move it towards the front and across and then back again. That will solve my problem, because other than that, if you look in there, I mean, let me just get up in there. There is gobs of space up above everything. So, and it only needs to come, it doesn't have to really come that far. Of course, it's really hard to see, but, it really doesn't need to come that far. I may not even need to remove it all. I might just be able to cut away some of it and just redo the structure. But you can see how much space there is up underneath this bonnet now. So yeah, I'm not gonna. Oh, my camera's all blown out. Let's wait for that to reset. There we go. And zoom. Okay. Yeah, so I'm really not going to complain about that. It means that the car is going to look completely stock. Well, stock. That's why you always wear gloves, better gloves than this. So that's
one pair of pants later.
Okay, so now that after I sprung a leak, I got all that patched up, and I'm going to keep working here for a bit. Remember, safety at least second. Better off first, though. So at this point, what I've done is I've added in some 1x3 braces there. I just duct taped them in place just so I could trim out the body. And those are going to provide more lateral pressure. So when the rear suspension compresses and pushes up and tries to twist this way, those are going to push directly onto this upright here, right? So that way, if you look at the side, this way, when this whole section here moves up or turns this way, it's going to try to torque this and will actually transfer it directly into the main frame rails that are under here, right? And they will run into the floor. And then what I'll be doing is I'll putting a gusset in here. There'll be a gusset to transfer that. But what I'm also going to do is, because the roll cage is going to sit bolted to the top of this and it's going to come up and through here, what I'll be doing is bringing out from here diagonally down to the mounting point at the front here, and all the way to the front, I'll be putting in along here, so from about here diagonally, a bar that will run beside the seat and will also help to stabilize this back end and tie everything together. So right now what I'm going to do is hop underneath the car, and those mounting points I need, and it's hard to see. Let me get a bit of light in here for it. That's a bit of light. Okay, so this mounting point here, I need to put something from here across to the frame rail so that I can bolt it there, and the same on the front one that's over here. I need a piece to go across there that this is going to sit on, and that is what's next on my agenda. Okay, so as you can see, I've cut these at an angle like this so that I can weld them to the frame. I'm going to weld a piece onto the bottom here and cap it off. I'll put in 4 captive nuts, and that's where the body will mount to, just like that. Right, so yeah, so what I started doing was, let's see where we're at. Okay, yeah, so I've done these up. So now there's some captive nuts in there, and as you can see, I should be able to weld a cover plate and seal those in, which will be nice. And then what I started doing is I started making the support rail for the transmission. You can see it there. And what I did is I welded in some captive nuts inside that so that I can bolt directly to it. And I'm just using the bracket as the linear mount, you know, the center of those two holes, and it creates a nice angle that then I'll be able to brace to the front of the main frame here, and then take to the back, and then decide how I'm gonna mount that across, mount that up, because it's gonna sit from here. It's gonna run all the way along to about here, and then it's going to go straight back. So as you know, I have these uprights and a cross piece, so I'll have to decide how I'm going to tie that in afterwards. That'll give it some rigidity. So that's basically what we've been doing today. You know, it takes a lot of time. There's not a lot of progress. We got a couple pieces of metal cut and some nuts welded in, but yeah, that's on the go. I also, the next time I have the body off, I am going to measure the drive shaft properly, because I have a shop in town that will shorten and balance the drive shaft for me. I do not want to do that myself. I mean, I could, you know, just cut the drive shaft, take a section out of it, and, you know, weld it up. But I'd rather have someone do that for me. I don't want to deal with the vibration. If I screw it up, that's an expensive drive shaft. And, you know, if there's one thing I hate doing, is fixing other people's screw ups. So I would not take a drive shaft that I screwed up into a shop and say, hey, I tried to do it myself instead of bringing it to you. Can you fix it? Just not cool. Anyway, all right, let's keep on keeping on. So I've taken the body off again, and remind me to measure the drive shaft. So as you can see, while the body was on, I put this piece in here, mounted it to the cross brace on the transmission so that I knew where I was, and I've got my bit of space between the gear shift, the lever here for shifting gears, and the cable holder there, which is perfect. And I've gone and marked out this piece. Yeah, nice, Howard. This one. This one will go here like this. And then I have this one, and then I need another piece to go across there. And what I'll do is, once I figure out where the seats are, I'll run a couple more cross pieces that I can then use as mounting points for the seats. I'm sure one of them is going to be outboard. These I measured while it was on the car, and they will sit like that there. And yes, I will have to use fairly stubby screws or bolts to hold those two outboard ones in place. So right now, let's cut these pieces that are remaining and get ready to weld them into place, and then mirror on the other side. Yeah, let's do that. All right then. All right, so this is where we're at. I just mirrored this on off camera. So interestingly enough, the the transmission doesn't sit dead center for some reason, or at least the bracket isn't. So, with everything squared, I mean, we're talking about the main subframe attached to a frame that I know is parallel, straight, and square. The bracket on the transmission is actually, I don't know if you can see, but it's actually further away from the center line of the transmission on this side than it is on this side. As you can see, a little bit extra length over here. It seems like it's an optical illusion, but it's, interestingly enough, I took a lot of measurements and it is, but it's roughly half an inch. So while the center of the transmission is centered, the bracket is kind of shifted off towards the passenger side. So I had to recut that piece there, as well as you can sort of see there's a bit of an opening there. So we are going to weld this into place and go from there. Sweet. So we've got that the transmission tunnel, drive shaft tunnel pieces in place. What I'm probably going to do is I'm going to do some kind of a brace up here on either side that'll just support this a bit better. Not sure the body comes out to here and then straight up here, so I'll see how I'm going to attach it, maybe in behind and just do a little bracket or something. I don't know whether I'll do something underneath. I don't think it's going to need it, but that's there. And as far as the front goes, I might do something along the same lines, mirror what's happening over here, the angle, maybe bring it up and attach to this piece here just to support the front side. And then, as I said before, I'll put in a set of seat rails that go across, and that should be sufficiently secure. As far as gussets go, there's going to be a set here, of course, because I want this whole back part here, when it comes under load this way, it's going to twist this way. And right now, the only connection between the front of the car and the back of the car is this in here. So this is going to get a gusset here, which is going to push any of this, and this is why I put this cross piece in here, is that it's going to drive it down into this piece. I may mock up just one side of the rail in CAD really quickly as I've got it built, and apply both straight pressure this way with this as a non-movable beam, and rotational twist into it around the center of the wheel, or the center of the differential, I should say, to mirror twist this way, and see how that causes this piece to flex. And I don't think I'm going to need anything more than a 2x3 120 wall to support that. It's pretty solid. I have just noticed that the suspension is really close in there. I don't know, it's like just a tiny bit. I'm probably gonna have to cut that away a little bit more, just to give it a little bit of play. I could probably get a fiver in there, but that's about it. So that's where we've gotten to, and I think that's probably a good place to stop for now. Yeah, so like, subscribe, hit the notification bell if you're enjoying this, let people know about it, and I'll see you next time.